everybody for being here.
All right, Debbie.
All right, thanks everybody for being here this morning, or I should say afternoon. And as we all prepare for maybe another winter storm warning, who knows? But I'm really excited today to be introducing Carmella Banks. And Carmella is actually part of our mastermind, which is exciting. And she's also put herself out there to be a speaker. So if any of you that watch the recording of this that would like to interview Carmella, please do so. She's a very fascinating and God-loving person. And she wrote in her description that it's time to rise up, get started, and take possession of the promises that God has in store for you. If fear is blocking or slowing you down as you're moving forward in his plans of peace, you need to proclaim aloud that you are an heir of God, a co-heir with Christ. Know that you are filled right now with his strength, his anointing, and his courage. I am perfectly imperfect, and that's okay. Believing in myself, having confidence in myself, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Well, Carmella, I got to tell you, that's very powerful. And for those with a God heart, I'm sure that is resonating with you now. I know that when I read it, it was like, wow, really. So first off, I'm going to say, Carmella, please give us a picture of who you are.
Well, first of all, I am a daughter of the Most High King, which is God. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a daughter, caregiver, sister, friend, all the above, how I would describe myself. And I have a heart that is like, sometimes I feel is big as the moon that could just burst because I just love giving. That's who I am.
Oh, that is just a great picture. Where were you born and how did you get to Lima?
I was born in Marion, Ohio, believe it or not. And I ended up in Lima. Funny story. My mom and I used to work in banking when I was in Marion, and she was showing someone a house, a friend of hers' friend, and he was single. One day we would always meet for lunch. She invited me to go to lunch with her, but she said, make sure you have lipstick on. I'm thinking, it's got to come off. So why do I need lipstick? And I showed up at Applebee's, and lo and behold, my husband was there. So my mom was playing matchmaker. I'm really not that desperate that I needed my mother, but maybe she just wanted to push me off. We talked, it was nice. I was shy because I've always been a kind of shy person when before. And so we really didn't talk after that date. And like months later, he called me out of the blue at the bank and wanted to go to lunch. And it was just the two of us. So long story short, we started courting, and then, we ended up getting married, and he had a law practice here in Lima. So we relocated. Well, I relocated to Lima, and I've been here ever since.
And can I just tell you, you use the word courting. You don't hear that word being used these days. It's just you went out and you enjoyed your time, and then you decided to get married. So I love that analogy that you put to it. So Carmella, what's your passion?
My passion is like helping others. I always joke, my husband always says, you're everybody's beck and call girl. And I'm like, what do you mean beck and call? But, if someone calls me, I'm there. And if they need. Now, sometimes I can go overboard and I need to learn how to say no more often. But for the most part, if someone is in need of anything, I will give my last. I will help them. I'll do anything. And I try to make myself available and accessible. I mean, I'm that way, whether it be with, a friend or a friend's relative, church, whoever, family. I try to be there for them.
And I think we all can say that we've done that at times. And after a while, you do need to learn to say, I'd love to this time, maybe next time. I mean, it's really what goes on in the world these days. People just expect you to be there at a beck and call and stop what you're doing and go help them. And that's getting harder to do. So you, what motivates you in what you feel as though is your passion?
I really like, listening to different speakers, whether it be, a motivational speaker, a Christian speaker. Sometimes, a lot of times music, I listen to all genres of music, and it's really crazy, but sometimes there's always like this message in a song, and sometimes it's something that will just like hit me at the right time, and it's something that I need to hear at that moment. So I think that's pretty much what it is. I love listening to various speakers and reading things. I love going to conferences, whether it be a woman's conference or no matter what it is. I like getting out and doing these things. So that's kind of, it seems like I get that big push and that excitement that really gets me wanting to do more. And I push myself even more because, every once in a while I may get in a rut, but that really like pushes me. And it's like, what? I can do this.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. There are many times when I'm out in the truck and I have the radio on, and all of a sudden I'll get a nudge to change the channel. And personally, I like to listen to Joel Osteen besides, other great speakers. And it'll be a message that I need to hear, and it'll resonate. And it's like, I would not have changed the channel, so to speak, to get that message that I need to hear personally. So I agree with you and I understand. Um, uh, Give us an idea of your favorite things that you like to do.
Um, I like hanging out with, friends, not more than my husband because I love doing things with him. Um, I love seeing new things, museums, and trying different things like that. I'm pretty much one of these, like, I'm not a really flashy person in a way. So
Yeah.
I'm that quiet person where even just sitting at home or a nice dinner with friends or a movie, that's something that really makes me happy. I don't have to have like the frills and all that other stuff. I'm just like a laid back person that likes it. And it's funny because we just received a wedding invitation. It's one of my daughter's friends, known her for years, friends with her parents. And they're like, okay, this is a black tie event, this. And I'm going, oh my gosh, I have to go and get one of these, a gown and stuff. And I'm thinking, why can't I wear just a nice plain dress? I can look nice in that, but that's not really, I can do it, but it's like, that's not me. I'm just a, good old, like laid back, small town girl. Man, that could be a song, but I think, what's this? Mellencamp got me on that one. Or either Bruce Springsteen, one of the two.
Well, and it's like your wedding dress. you're only going to wear it once. You're going to put it back in your closet and go, oh, okay, now what do I do with it? And I think you'll agree with me. I mean, it's just going to sit there. Why do I want to
is.
go out and spend the money for it when I'm only going to wear it once? Geez. You've accomplished so many things over the years, and you have such a God heart. What would you say is your proudest accomplishment?
I would have to say my daughter, and I hope I don't get emotional because I'm an emotional person, but I raised her for the most part by myself up until she was 7, 8, because actually Farley and I got married, I think, right before her 9th birthday. And to see the young woman that she is grown to be, she just turned 30 in December. And there's just things about her. I'm like, how is she my daughter? How is she this way? And then people will say, she's so much like you in this area. And then they point out where, and I'm thinking, well, how did she get like that? And it came from that I did something right, and seeing her, excel and just the things that she does and just her heart, it just makes me kind of burst with pride. And that's like my greatest thing. Unfortunately, God only saw fit for me to have one child, but I have a lot of adopted kids. But with her, that's, I'm proud. I mean, today she's taking a test for her, she's in finance for her Series 7, but it's one of those things where she's like, Mom, I got to study. And it's like how she's disciplined. I mean, she's better than what I was at her age. So that's one proud accomplishment I have, is raising her. And I'm thankful for my husband coming in when he did, because he's added to it. But yeah, she makes me proud.
That's such a heartwarming story. I mean, I'm sure that it resonates with all of us here, anyone listening to the recording, that sometimes we do have that special child or grandchild or niece or nephew. And I totally agree with you. And it's amazing for me because I have 9 grandchildren, and they all are from 19 down to 4. And I got to tell you, my 4-year-old granddaughter just amazes me at how adult-like she is. And it just, my husband and I just like, what did she just say? So it's so rewarding, for us. And you are leaving her a great legacy by the fact that she is just so like you. And you should write a book about that. Well, now this is going to be like, who do you feel is your hero or your favorite person that you admire? Now, you just said your daughter, so there's got to be somebody else.
Well, I would have to say my grandmother left a huge impact on my life. When I lost her, that was like the hardest thing. And I think it was the one thing I had to do was let her go, because she was ready to go, because she was fighting through cancer and everything. And I think she was holding on, for me, because literally she passed like a few days after my daughter was born. And Jade is so much like her. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, it's crazy. But my grandmother has to be the number one person. But then also, I always admired Maya Angelou, because it's like the different things that she faced, in her younger days and stuff, and just how, and she spoke so well, and just to read her poems and just listen to her. And I mean, it's just something that empowers you. I mean, it gives you, if I could use this word correct, hope. It gives you hope, that there's just something better. But if I could name two, those would be the two people that I really admire the most and look up to.
Wow. Um, that's very heartfelt, and I can feel the pain that you went through. And I'm gonna try not to cry here, but after my mom passed away, I met this really great couple, and they always treated me as their daughter. And he passed away in December, and she just passed away last night during the night. And they were like my mom and dad, because I didn't really have a dad, and and my mom was my best friend, and that's what they were. So, I can feel, I can understand. And she's left well, they both have left a very deep impact on my life. So thank you so much for sharing that and allowing me to share my sadness today. Um, so going on here, what is your favorite book or your author?
The first one I like reading is, I like the Bible, because I like my devotionals, because there's like something, a story for anything, you can find in there. And then my second, I love anything by John Grisham. I know that's crazy, but he is, thanks, Bill. At least somebody's on my side there. But oh my gosh, I find him so fascinating. And I mean, I will sit and go through a book like that if I'm driving. Because my husband's like, you have the book in hard copy and you have it on CD. And I'm like, listen, I got to get it wherever I can. So sometimes when I'm driving, and if it's a distance, I'll stick that in, and listen to it, especially on my drives to Maryland. I can get through a book in that time, because after a while I get tired of music, and if they play something and if I lose connection, it's like the book is still there. So those are my two big ones. So anything by John Grisham is like a book for me.
And I like some of the books that they've turned into movies. I mean, they really rock.
Oh yeah.
And so, and I agree with you. When you're on a long drive, I'm sure everybody here will agree. I've got to have something in playing besides music, because like you said, after a while, music stations get lost. You can't hear anything, and it gets, not that it's boring, but it makes the time go by really fast. So, so this is cute. I really like this. What makes you laugh?
Most of the time, my husband. To meet him, your first impression of him, you would think he's this, really quiet, attorney. He thinks he looks like he's serious all the time. But when you get to know him, I'm like, some days I'm like, oh my gosh, will you stop? It's like, you don't give up your day job. Keep your day job. But he thinks he's like very committed. But then there's sometimes, he has me like laughing so hard. I mean, between him and my cat, well, I should say his cat, they make life so much easier, because it's like, you never know what's going to come out of him. I mean, whether it be from like a commercial on television, something, and majority of the time, I'm like the joke. So, but he makes me laugh outside of, watching, comedies and stuff, mainly him.
That's cute. That's cute. And you brought up your cat. Sometimes my husband gets so frustrated because Doodles during the night will sleep on top of him. And sometimes he wakes up and it's like nose to nose. She's sleeping with him. But then during the day, she's with me. So she's just a funny cat, and she'll eat anything, anything. And she, if you're not watching her, she'll come and sit on your lap and she'll grab a piece of something and hop down on the floor to eat it. And the dog just sits there and looks at her like, okay, where's mine? You know? So, who would you, or how would your friends describe you?
Most of my friends would say, I I have a big heart. I'm loving and they can depend on me. They know that they can call me and they can count on me um, for anything majority of the time. I have a friend, she's like my little sister, and she knows she can call me at any time and I'm there. Even like my brothers, they know we're going through this stuff with my mom. I think I've mentioned before with her dementia things. And some days I'm like, can you guys please help me out a little bit? Because sometimes it can be hard and I'm trying to balance this, that, and everything. But then they go, well, we know you can take care of it. We know you'll get it done. And it's like, hello. And sometimes I'm like, I wish I could like not be so good at something. But my friends, they go, they know they can depend on you. And that's one of the things I was told by our church secretary once. She's like, the reason why we call you all the time is because we can depend on you. We know you're going to do it right. And because you're like OCD about things, so we don't have to worry. And I'm like, okay, one day I'm just going to do something totally wrong and make a mess and make it sloppy. And I can't even do that, so.
I don't see you doing that at all.
No, I'm picky about how the dishwasher is loaded. So, I mean, if that tells you anything.
Oh dear. Does that mean I have OCD? Because the dishwasher has to be filled in a certain way in order to get
Exactly.
stuff in there. It's funny to hear somebody else has that thing. Carmella, I got to tell you, I've been really, really enjoying this conversation with you. And so, with everything that you've shared with us today, which has been a lot, and it's very helpful to see the other side of you and kind of know how you tick. And so, in the process of all of this, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself maybe doing more traveling and things. I would love to go on like a missionary trip. I know one thing that I love about my oils, doTERRA, they go to the different countries where the oils are harvested, and not just going there and getting help from the farmers and stuff to do things, but they have a passion, they like to give back. So it's not just getting things. And they have these trips where they've gone to Guatemala and stuff. And just to go there and to give back what they need, whether it be to build a school and they've done that, hospitals, something, I would love to do that. And I'm hoping that within the next 5 years that I've gotten myself to a place even ranked up even higher with the oils that, I can actually take that trip and do that, because I really want to empower more people to promote, wellness, in their homes and within themselves. Because sometimes one of the things my mom used to always tell me, nobody can take care of you but you. So you have to know. And I'm like the worst person. My girlfriend jokes with me. Whenever I would get sick in my younger days, when I was in my 20s and I would be on antibiotics, she goes, you would take it for one day, you'd feel better the next day, and you'd stop taking stuff. And then the next thing you know, you're sick again because you didn't follow through. Well, I'm not a person that likes to take pills or anything. That's just me. So I love the oils because it's something that I'm getting something naturally and it's helping me, and I'm not as sick as I normally. I'm not saying it's the all heal all, but I know how it helps me. So I want to be healthy and live a long life. And we have to do that. We have to take care of our bodies and, take care of ourselves. So that's one of the things. I know I'm trying to drink more water, get movement. I haven't exercised as much since I broke my tailbone. It'll be a year in June. That's been painful. So certain things I can't do. I tried to start back up, last fall, and the girl, my trainer, had me lifting these weights. The next thing you know, I couldn't move. I had to go to my chiropractor because I kind of overdid it. But, there's other things I can do. So I try to get my steps in and, movement. So those are things I can do. So that's one thing, it's just taking care of myself and my health. And I want to empower other people to do that, to take care of yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. I mean, people care about you, but you have to do this for yourself. And that's what I see myself doing even more within the next 5 years.
That's awesome. Just out of curiosity, instead of 5 years, where do you see yourself, say at the end of this year? I mean, you have a bed and breakfast that you're working on, and so kind of give us an idea of where you see yourself at the end of this year, because
Well,
sometimes it's easier to focus and get to the 5 years by accomplishing something each year. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I see my bed and breakfast open and going by the end of the year, and my goal is September, if not before then. And also, I see where I have made a deal and closed on a couple houses. Like I said, I had gotten into real estate investing with my partner, and she lost her husband and had gone through things and with everything. And I said, you know what? Even in spite of, bad things that happen, in circumstances, I want to find joy in the small things.
Yeah.
And these things, by working, I want to have that where it's like, wow, we've like bought, our first property, done that. Plus I have my, B&B open and going. And I'm hoping that I would be in the midst of planning a wedding for my daughter eventually, because we're going to all these weddings and she's talking about it. And it would just do my heart so much good to be that mother of the bride. Oh, that's her. And that was just in December.
Wow, that's gorgeous. I remember seeing that picture. Does she have a significant person she's dating?
Yeah, they've been dating. It'll be 11 years in April.
Wow.
And she finally told him the other day, she's like, listen, you talk about it. So it's kind of like, are you going to buy me a ring? Have you gone there yet? Because she's like, I'm not getting any younger and I want to have some kids. So she just laid it on the line. And I'm like, she's very outspoken, not my child.
Good for her. Sometimes they need a little nudge. And 11 years, wow. If you don't know everything about that person in 11 years, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Exactly. So, but that's where I pretty much see myself. And I like to start doing more with Farley, and us being, healthy and just like enjoying life.
So you don't really have a vacation plan because you're going to be going back and forth to Maryland, right?
Right. Well, it's not really a vacation, but I'm going to be going to Missouri again with my girlfriend from grade school, and it's becoming a girls' trip. So we went last year and it's a road trip. We drive. This year we're taking my car and driving. And basically it's a weekend where we just work on crafts. I took up diamond painting last year. So, and it's
Wow.
very calming and soothing. So, and who would have thought So
I'll have to
that's
check
just,
that out.
yep. So we drove there, and somehow I ended up being on the committee now. So add that to my list.
So what's in Missouri?
Well, it's where they go and have their retreat. And there is like a series, it looks like those old time like motel, hotel type things. And someone bought it and turned it into like a retreat place. They have a big open room where you can have like a banquet. They have quilts because a lot of people go there and do quilting. And actually I'm trying to think of the town of Missouri where it's that big quilting place.
Oh,
And so we go there. The little rooms have like little twin beds, but they're so cute and it's just quaint, and it's nice and it's fun and it's relaxing. And I had really nice downtime there. So, and it was just like a nice little girls getaway. We
and
laughed.
it's just for 2 days?
We took a week because we drove and stopped.
Yeah.
And stayed at a hotel, and then we're only there for 2 days, and then we drove back and we checked out some sites. We looked and things we wanted to go to, we kind of put it in our Google thing, and we just stopped there, took pictures, and had fun. I was the comic because you get slap happy when you're in a car. So I wrote my own songs, I sang them, and I sang them in a different language. And she laughed so hard. So I'm like, it's Carmella's album, So I says, buy my next album. So
What language?
I did Jamaican, I did some Spanish, My Spanish is not very good because I haven't spoken it in a while, but it was fun.
Oh
And
my gosh, that sounds like such fun.
yeah, so we had fun. We laughed so hard. And like I said, we've been friends since first grade. So it was nice.
It's great.
So that's
Great.
my only like vacation. My husband calls it a boondoggle. So yeah, boondoggle, vacation, whatever.
Hey, I'm not sure what boondoggle means, but it sounds curious. Well, okay, so I'm kind of finished with the questions. Who has any questions for Carmella? Please, what's ever on your heart or mind, ask away. Bill, Sally, Kathy, and Elise even joined us.
Well, first of all, I think that Carmella, thank you for being on, Carmella. This has been great. As much as I know Carmella, I learn something new every time I listen to her. So thank you for that. I know Farley and I know Jade, and Carmella and I are actually related through marriage of her brother with my niece. And so Carmella and I are family. So anyway, it's so good to see
Cool.
her. And I wish we were closer because I would just be hanging out in her world all the time. But the quilting city is Hamilton, Missouri.
That's it,
And
Hamilton.
it's called the Disneyland of quilting. It is the quilting capital of the world.
Yes.
So anyway, a little bit of tidbit there about Hamilton, Missouri and quilting. And I haven't found the definition of boondoggle yet. Oh goodness, they say, what does it mean? It says it's an extravagant and useless project.
So he's saying I'm extravagant and useless because I spend a lot.
That's the definition. That's the slang definition of boondoggle, is if you're going on a boondoggle, you're going on an extravagant, useless project.
Hey,
I
I
like
feel
it.
the love.
But he means it with a lot of love, Carmella, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I'm sure he does. He just doesn't. He probably just doesn't see the value in going to the quilting capital of the world.
That's right.
But anyway, kudos to you. All right, back to you, Debbie.
It must be better than Paducah, Kentucky, because I've been there for quilting, but and that's huge. Sally, do you have any questions? You're muted.
I don't, but Elkins, West Virginia is also a big quilting place,
Mhm.
Ooh,
and that's not too far away.
road trip.
Amelia, Camilla,
Yes.
what was your inspiration for the bed and breakfast? Was it you sort of like by yourself, or was it a couple people, or somebody nudged you in that direction, or just what was did you read about it and think I can do this? Because I liked your comment about, and your gumption just to step up and go after it. I appreciate that. That's pretty good. And I was just curious about your inspiration for the bed and breakfast.
Well, actually, when I'm trying to think, probably in the last 5 years or even more, I know instead of staying at hotels, we stay at either a B&B or Airbnb or whatever you want to call them. And my husband, he's an only child. And so my in-laws, my father always says, I want you guys to move here, but I can't really see myself. Well, I could see myself living in the DC, Maryland area, but for my husband's bank account, we just don't, for whatever reason. But we just wanted to keep the house. It's paid for, it's in a nice prime area. And I said, you know what, we have this property, we live here and we want to keep it. Why not do something with it, which is going to make us money? This way, if we want to go, my daughter loves the area. So she's probably, because she lives in like Upper Arlington and Columbus, and it's like a 6-hour drive for her. And it's right there, literally 8 to 10 minutes from downtown DC. So there's a casino, there's, National Harbor, all these places, and they are building up. They just built a Top Golf, which is literally 5 minutes from the house. So in a way, I'm kind of keeping, the memory of my father-in-law's wishes of, keeping the house. And, we've done a lot of work to it, and it's, nice. And, still the foundation is strong. So that's one of the things, so we have this, but, we're going to generate an income. And it's a nice place to go, because even if we want to go back to DC and do something, we have a place to stay. And, a lot of people that travel for business or whatever, we're offering them something. And it's a home away from home. I like that.
It seems to be a very popular, when Airbnb took off, seems like it's a very popular choice when you have that property available to do something with.
Mhm.
I agree. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Bill. That's great to have you here today. I enjoy it. And please come back again.
You bet.
Elise, do you have any questions?
I'm not really a question person. I wish I was. When I have a question, I'm like, oh, excuse me, pardon me, hello. But it was wonderful to hear from everyone. Camilla, thank you so much for sharing. Debbie, thank you so much for hosting as well as having me here. I find that, being in these chats and meeting new people has just been really wonderful for me. So, I just appreciate the conversation and just kind of being here with others who are still just working it out, just like everyone else, but just very open about it, and very, I guess the word is open, just open to sharing what their struggles and what some of the things that they look forward to. So I really do appreciate your open and honesty. Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Elise. So, Carmella, please make sure that in the chat window, you include how we can reach out to you, phone number, email, web address, or if you have a link. Do you have anything out there yet for your bed and breakfast, or is that coming?
That's coming.
Okay. Well, just share with us how we can reach out to you, and whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook. In fact, this morning I found you on LinkedIn, and that's a very impressive page that you have put together. It looks good. So, well, I don't have anything else for today. I just want to thank everyone for being here.
I think
And
Kathy has a,
go ahead, Kathy.
I just wanted to make one last comment before we sign off. We do have a little speakers bureau, and it's on kathybinner.com, and you just click on the menu to the speakers bureau, and Carmella is one of our keynote speakers there. So if you're looking for a speaker or someone to interview, especially virtually, if you're not real close to her area, you can find her there. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
Oh, thanks, Kathy. Good reminder. Good reminder. And well, I don't have anything else to say except I look forward to who we will have next month, and that this recording will be up on my YouTube channel, Debbie Marks, and just look for Fireside Chat with Debbie Marks, and you can look at all of the past recordings from last year. And I just want to say thanks, everybody, and we'll see you all next month, which is April 8th, I think. And is that correct, Kathy?
I'm looking. Yes, that is correct.
April 8th.
Mhm.
April 8th.
And I will be coming to you, the actual platform, because I'm the one that's hosting the platform, and I'll be coming to you from Florida that day. So I'll
good.
be down in Sarasota, but it'll be the same platform, same Zoom code, everything. It's just that I physically will be coming from Sarasota.
So, and that's nice, Kathy. Nice warm weather. Just hope
Mhm.
that we start getting it here to stay. So everybody have a great weekend and a great rest of your month. And we'll see you all next month. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.